This is video number 2. Previous one was about talking to your recruiter and getting the Meps. So, getting the Meps. The recruiter, it's usually a 2-day process. And, well, that's how mine was. And typically are. You can have a circumstance where maybe it's better for you to do it all in one day. That's a long freaking day, but I mean, at least you get it all done in one day. But anyway, I did it in 2. Most people do. Um, my map station was about 40 minutes away, or almost an hour. So my recruiter drove me to Meps, and Meps is the place where you take your ASVAB test and you have your medical evaluation to get your stamp for fit for full duty. First day is your ASVAB test. So he dropped me off in the morning. I went in there, checked in with Meps, which takes a little bit because you have to, they want all your information. So we got check in. After you get checked in, you're able to take your ASVAB. So you get into the test taking room. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if they're all on computers now, but I know they have paper tests. Depending on where you're at, they may only offer, paper exams. But, mine was on computers. And to take a good test, at least a couple of hours. A couple hours is pretty good. To take your test. Like I said, you walk into a room full of computers, sit down, follow the instructions, take the test. Now there's mechanics. I think there's auto body and parts maybe. Your arithmetic, some algebra, math type. It's pretty general. General science, word knowledge, and then your math and reading and writing. I guess you can just kind of combine those. I believe that's pretty much it. So you finish the test, and you walk up to the desk in the front of the room where your score is printed off and sealed in an envelope with a piece of tape. And he tells you not to open it, just to grab your stuff and go wait in a designated area. But your recruiter, probably your recruiter prior to you arriving, will say, now when you take your ASVAB test, he's going to give it to you in an envelope. Go to the bathroom, open it up, text me the score, and then close it back up and walk out. And really, there's nothing wrong with that. They want to know what you made, because if you failed, you can't continue on with the Meps process. So, if you fail, let them know. Then they can come get you. But if you pass, you just say, I'm good to go, made the score, I'm good to go. Go to the hotel that night. And very nice hotel. We stayed at Crown Plaza. I was expecting maybe like a motel, the kind with the doors that open up to the outside, and be real cheap. But no, they treated us very well. Woke up the next morning, so the next day is your medical evaluation. Wake up at 3:30. The time I woke up, because they're going to tell you to clean your ears out, and they're going to tell you to clean your body, because you are getting a physical, and apparently a lot of people get turned away because their ears aren't clean enough. They can't see in there to see if anything's damaged or whatnot, so they send you home. They don't send you to the bathroom and say, hey, go clean it out and then hop back in line and we'll check your ears out. They don't do that. They just send you home. That's just the way it is. So at night, or in the morning, wake up at 3:30, clean your ears, clean your body, and breakfast is usually about 4:15. Breakfast was good. You don't have to pay for your meals. That's another thing. The night prior, after you take your ASVAB test, you have a dinner voucher you just take up there, and here you go, and they have maybe 4 meals to choose from. It's not bad. And I mean, I had a hamburger and some, I don't know, like catfish, or maybe not catfish, chicken tenders or something like that later on. But so the next morning, 4:15 breakfast. Then they're gonna put everybody on a bus. They're gonna bus you over to the Meps station, and then your medical process starts. The process is going to be different because it's not like everybody goes to the same thing and then you move on. It's kind of like, hey, I need 10 of y'all to go over here to this line, 10 of y'all to go to this line. You just kind of start. And so it's not everybody does it in the same order. So don't expect it to be ears, throat, nose, sight, whatever. But the order I did it in was I sat down and you go to the first one where the guy checks your ears, nose, and throat, just like you've done, I'm sure 1,000 times with your checkup doctor. Look in your nose, look in your throat, and then they check your ears. Everything's good. Signs off. Go to the next line where I did the sound test. Where you go in a booth, a soundproof booth with maybe like 8 guys, 8 different people, guys or girls, and go in and you put your little headphones on. There's instructions and tells you to click the button when you hear a beep. So you click it, and throughout the thing, throughout the whole process, they're not gonna tell you this person passed, this person failed, this person passed. They're just gonna send you on. So if you just continue to go on, just know that everything's good. There was times I'm like, I wonder how good I did, but I didn't know. All I know is that I was good. That's all you need to know. So next thing was, I think right after that, we went into this room where there's, maybe 30 people, guys and girls, and the commanding officer, the CO of the Meps station, which happened to be a Marine Major, came in, talked to us, told us, asked us how it was going, told us what the rest of the day is going to look like. Told us not to lie about anything, about the questions they're going to ask. Um, just random stuff like that. Okay, and then that's the same room. After he leaves, then you go over. There's a guy that you go through page after page after page of questions, questionnaires, yes or no, yes or no, things like that. So you get done with that. As soon as you leave that room, you're gonna do a breathalyzer. Well, that's how I did it. Took a breathalyzer test. Then you move on. I got my blood pressure checked. I got my blood drawn by corpsman, and at that same time, while you're waiting on to get your blood drawn, you kind of write down what tattoos you have and where, if you have any. And then you got to pee in a cup. And then after that, I went to see a physician. You sit down in a room one-on-one. Maybe it takes 20 minutes per person, and they're not going to check every crevice and every joint and every nook and cranny of your body to try to get rid of you. However, Meps is quick to get rid of you, so just keep that in mind. But it's basic. He goes down and he doesn't know anything about you, so he sits down and he says, "You ever done drugs? Do you have any family members with a history of cancer whatsoever? Prostate problems? You got any whatever? Um, you ever been diagnosed with anything as a kid? You ever had anything?" You just say, "No, no, no, whatever." He's going to do a physical. He's going to ask guys. He's going to ask you to drop your pants. Of course, it's girls and girls, guys and guys, obviously. So he's going to tell you to drop your pants. Cough, cough. Then he's going to check your backside. He's going to do a visual, and check that everything's functional, everything looks normal, and that's it. It's not like he's going to spend a lot of time back there inspecting anything, so don't worry about it. After that, he'll do a dilation test with your eyes with a flashlight, and then he's going to sign off on it, and you're going to go. And then you go on. You'll do your sight test, and they check for depth. Make sure you can tell depth. Make sure you're not colorblind, and standard, read line 8 from left to right, that kind of test. See if you need glasses or whatnot. So oh yeah, by the way, if you have glasses, bring them. I believe if you have contacts, go ahead and bring them just in case. I believe you can wear them during the eye test if you know you need glasses. So go ahead and bring those. And the last thing you're going to do at Meps is duck walk, or the place where you do the duck walk. I'm sure you've heard of it if you watched at least a handful of videos researching Meps, then you know about the duck walk. It's where you go in there, and okay, for this part they're going to make you strip down to your underwear, socks and everything off. And I recommend wearing boxer briefs or whitey tighties, because more flowy boxers, if you know what I'm saying, because you'll be doing lots of bending down and things like that. You don't want to be advertising anything you don't want to advertise. So Anyways, that's what I recommend. You'll do different stretches, you'll do different bends, you move, swing your arms around and touch your fingers. They actually do that, and it doesn't take that. It's not that big a deal. They'll check your hands for warts. Make sure your nails are good. It's really weird. The doctor walks along. Everybody's got their hands out. He just walks and looks. He'll check your feet. He'll check for flat feet. So do what you got to do if you've got flat feet, because he's just going to walk by. Nothing looks too weird. He'll just walk on by you. But you will do the duck walk. Duck walk is simple. Don't try to practice for weeks and weeks before you go to Meps. It's not that big a deal. Even if you're not that good at it, if you can kind of do it, it's okay, because there's going to be like 10 people doing it. You doing it once. You start on the starting line, the toe line. You squat down like a coach, like a basketball coach. And then you waddle like a duck. And you take a step every time you waddle. And that's it. You take about 5 steps down, 5 steps back. They may ask y'all to do it again. He may not. He might just say 1 and 2. First and second person. You're good. And you just stand there. Or stay squatted or whatever. So you get past that. And then they stamp you. Fit for full duty. You're medically cleared. So after that, you go talk to a detailer. The detailer will, with your respective branch. Anyway, talk to your detailer. He's going to ask you what your job. If the job is available that you want, tell him that's what you want. If it's not available, don't freak out. It may open up next week. It may open up tomorrow. So if your ASVAB score is good enough and your job falls under that score, it's just not there, then tell them I'm going to wait until it's available. And don't think you have to choose another job you really don't want because you feel like you got to choose something. No. Just wait. Tell him you want to wait. You can keep in contact with him. He'll tell you what to do, and then when that job opens up, you can get it. So that's that. You talk about when you're going to go to boot camp, and from then on, if I was fortunate enough, I went 29 days later, so I didn't really have to wait a whole long time. But if you're going to wait 6 months or so, you're going to go in what they call the delayed entry program. So your recruiter's going to want to talk to. By the way, that's the end of Meps. The detailer is done. So then the recruiter comes and picks you up. So if you're 6 months or so in DEP program, recruiter's going to want to talk to you, or you can talk to you a couple of times a month, but see your face once a month for sure in a DEP meeting, a DEP pool. Everybody comes in, they do PT or talk about general orders. Make sure your status is still good. Make sure you didn't get in any trouble and things like that. So then you go to boot camp. So next video I'm going to make is about boot camp. So if you got any questions about this one, let me know.